Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
So good morning, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This morning we'll start with the prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. And this morning I believe at the kennel, Commissioner Kalo has the dog.
You're actually on, it's just off camera.
Oh.
Hal has a different view. He picks whatever.
Come here, guy. Come here. Our featured dog this week is about a three-year-old Shepherd Beagle mix. He's a male. He was found in Elyria. He's got a great personality. He's looking for a home. He's in cage 10, and he'll be available for adoption this Friday, which will be January 30th. How many dogs do we have, Tim? We have 25 dogs, so if he's not quite your cup of tea, stop by and I'm sure we'll find something for you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, resolutions.
Under Resolutions Number 1, Investments.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Appropriations.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Transfers.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
No advances, no repayments, requisition.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Travel.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Bills.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
Mr. Cordez?
Thank you, Commissioner. I do have a few personnel issues I'd like to discuss with the board. Specifically, possible employment at 911, Jobs Family Services. Also want to discuss ongoing union contract negotiations with United Steelworkers in America and our bargaining unit here in the admin building. Potential sale and purchase of real estate. All three issues are allowable under the Sunshine Act for executive session discussions. So I'd ask at the conclusion of our regular board meeting, we go into executive session and talk about those three things. Thank you.
Approve and waive the reading of the minutes of January 20th.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Opposing House Bill 394, Ohio's unemployment law benefits.
Yes, so move.
Second.
Discussion.
I'd like to update the community. There's a bill that is moving in Columbus that is very disturbing. Columbus is good at producing some pretty bad bills. This certainly joins the club. House Bill 394 has been introduced by Barb Sears out of Sylvania, the Toledo area. Primarily, it would put on course reducing unemployment opportunities for those who are unemployed from the current 26 weeks to as low as 12 weeks. A lot of it will be gauged based upon the unemployment rate at the time. So right now, if they were to gauge it based upon current unemployment, we'd be looking at individuals under this bill only being able to receive a maximum of 12 weeks. Obviously, we have concerns about this because We have seen great job losses in the steel mills here locally, and I think we all realize that the economic recovery is still very slow. It's hard for displaced workers to find new work. They still have families to feed, mortgages to pay, and you know, the disturbing part of it is it's actually packaged as a tax break for the employers, and it would really amount to a deduction for them of about $313 million through 2025, but the workers' benefits would be reduced by an average of $475 million during that same time period. You know, we're in this boat because of the recession, the Great Recession that took place. Quite frankly, there wasn't enough money in the state's unemployment insurance fund to cover everything, so the state had to go and seek assistance from the federal government. The federal government won't simply say, well, we were glad to help you out, don't worry about repaying us. They want the money back. The current balance is somewhere around $775 million. I think it was as high as $1.3 billion when we first had to do it, and I say we because I was in Columbus at the time that this occurred. We're kind of in this boat because the state unemployment taxes that are obviously charged to the employers really haven't changed since 1995, with employers paying on the first $9,000 of a worker's earnings. And but I think it's important to point out that it hasn't changed since 1995, so that caused a solvency problem to keep pace with the demand. If we were to have kept pace with inflation in Ohio, employers would actually be paying on the first $14,000 in wages. So that's just for background information, but I know here in Lorain County we're concerned because boy, families have just been dealt a terrible blow, a real punch to the gut, and then the state to be considering the idea of saying that you're only going to receive 12 weeks. It's just not fair, not reasonable by any means. So it's my understanding, checking with our clerk, she's checked with other clerks, it sounds like we may very well be the first county to actually send something down to the legislature saying that we deem this to be unreasonable and unfair, and for this bill not to move forward, at least not in this shape.
Yeah, adding comments to that, Matt, our unemployment system is a little bit different than a lot of other states because we have such a heavy reliance on the manufacturing sector, and then to paint the whole state with one stroke when you've got places like Columbus absolutely booming because they've kept all our money down there in a couple of $1 billion carryover while ignoring the needs of our families up here. I mean, for people to think of these things. I mean, Sears is actually from the Toledo area, isn't she?
Sylvania,
yeah, she's from the Toledo area.
Sylvania, yeah, she should know.
She should know
else.
firsthand
Right.
with the Jeep plant up there and the glass plants that this just isn't. But sometimes when they're following an agenda, somebody has to introduce bad legislation and others seem to follow. So,
Right.
yeah, I wholeheartedly support resolution against this House bill.
Absolutely. Just bringing awareness to what's going on down there is really important, and put some pressure on our legislators so that they don't pass a bill like this, and hopefully there'll be other counties and municipalities that'll jump on board and follow suit with what we're doing here today.
Yeah, I did talk with Representative Booth at Township Trustees meeting, and I said to him, Terry, you have a higher unemployment than we do in Lorain County. I mean, Huron County's been a leading county for unemployment, and he said that he has great reservations about it. There was some work on a substitute bill, and everybody said things were going to be made better or more reasonable, if you can even use reasonable in association with this bill. But supposedly the substitute bill isn't much better. So that's why we have to keep tabs on these types of things, and we just want to send a message to the legislators. We believe this is bad for the working families of Lorain County and for the working families of Ohio, and simply not something that the state should be looking to solve this financial issue that obviously still needs to be paid, but to basically do it on the back of the employees and only make life worse for workers who are out of work and trying to find new work.
Right. who also may need some additional training to get another job.
Right.
Doesn't give you much time to do that.
No.
Is that it? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Airport entering a 20-year renewal lease agreement with Air Limited effective February 1st, 2016 through January 31st, 2036.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Mr. Cortez, were you able to get any information on this lease?
I was. I thought I had passed it along. I was just, I was looking at the agenda saying to myself, did I or didn't I? I do have the data there. The land lease is about $6,000 a year. It's in the original document, and it's sitting on my desk. And Commissioner, quite frankly, I probably just forgot to send it to
Okay.
you.
You're busy.
But there's not a lot of urgency here. But I do have the document. I can look for it. We can come out afterwards after you
Okay.
look at it.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at it before.
Sure.
Thank you. Do we need to?
So we can review this later.
Do you
We'll
wanna
still
withdraw
hold
your-
it.
We'll hold it.
Yeah,
Have to
withdraw.
hold it.
Mhm.
Want to withdraw your motion?
I'll withdraw it.
I withdraw my second.
Thank you.
Under solid waste, submit application on behalf of Barnes Nursery, Inc., Huron, to Ohio EPA for 2016 Market Development Grant in the amount of $66,538 for a composting site facility.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
It's nice that we're finally moving forward on something that we have talked about for about 3 years. So, the composting facility, Jim, the one we've been working on and we
Well, yeah,
kicked back.
let me give you a bit of an update on that, and I did talk to Keith a bit on it. I changed some of the language in the resolution because it indicated we were going to do this rather than we were exploring the possibility. I think we're heading in the right direction with a better contract. Still haven't really been able to get the state, or the people that are negotiating, get the state to change their direction on some of the terms and conditions, and I'm probably going to step into that fray very soon. And also that, Bonds is coming up with a better business plan other than we're going to do composting. I want to look at ROIs, I want to look at the complete business plan, I want to see what the investment's going to cost us, and of course, how long it's going to take for it to be successful or not, and then what's going to happen with the investment should the parties find the relationship not mutually profitable after a year or two, because we have a significant upfront investment in that. I would prefer that we buy the land, not lease the land. So I'm trying to see if the state will sell the land, which I don't think they will, and maybe the site is not correct. Putting all these departments together is really a great idea, but at the end of the day, it's got to make economic sense too. So there's still a ways to go, but Mr. Bailey informed me that the grant window was small, and I think we need to apply for this grant, and if we don't reach an agreement, then we are awarded a grant, we'll simply turn the grant back in. I just don't want to miss the opportunity.
Okay.
Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Under the engineer, post load limit signs that state weight limit reduction of 25% on all Eaton Township roads for the fall and moisture period in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 5577.07, effective February 1st, 2016 through May 1st, 2016.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Approve and enter in a contract with K.E. McCartney and Associates Mansfield in the amount of $48,000 for the lateral televising system analysis for the Phase 2 project at Eaton Home Subdivision, Eaton Township, and will be paid from the sanitary O&M professional services account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Under the sheriff, enter in a renewal agreement with Lakota for counseling services effective January 31st, 2016, at a rate of $22 per hour for 32 hours per week.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Cortez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, I do have one piece of business that I held off the agenda, and it has to do with an owner rehab. We do have a sufficient amount of bids for it. I was concerned once again that an out-of-county company had gotten the rehab work, and I went through the list of where it was sent and who got it. I'm still, people upstairs are working pretty hard, but I'm still dissatisfied with sending this kind of work out of the county, especially this time of year when you would think contractors would be a little hungry to have work. It's a good bid. There was a couple in-county bids. We have an upcoming symposium that's going to work with PIA to try to engage people more. But we need to still find a better way of getting local companies to at least acknowledge that they're getting opportunities at this work. And I'm going to continue to work on it. I'm going to continue to complain about it until we figure out how to keep this work at home. There's no sense bringing federal dollars here and then paying out of county company to do work here in the county. But the law is the law, and they had the best bid right now.
Well, I know Don's been working very hard at this. I had a chance to attend one of the meetings with the contractors, and we had some contractors show up. We probably would have liked to have seen more, but it wasn't due to a lack of effort on our part. I'm trying to figure out how we can better reach out to people, short of feeding everybody pizza in a movie or whatever. I mean,
Well, I'll pay for the pizza if that's
yeah,
what it takes.
I'd gladly pay for the pizza if that's what it takes, absolutely. But and I said before about us trying to work closely with the building departments, but these are, as my colleague can vouch for, when you're self-employed, you guys spend a lot of time getting the company moving forward, and so even for them to take an hour and a half to come out and do something like this is sometimes difficult on their work schedules and their demands. But we're certainly open for any ideas that anyone may have. And Don, when's the next contractor?
We actually have another event tomorrow. Well, it's focused more on stormwater issues and compliance. Every opportunity we've had to meet with the contracting community, we do plug our programs.
In fact, I got my dates. When was our last? We did the BIA.
We did the BIA in early December. It was Commissioner Lundy, I know, was able to. He actually attended that, and we are working on another event. We haven't finalized the date yet with the BIA, and this time we're going to try their meeting room, their offices as well.
Is the one that's coming up having to do with the work that's being done in the district with the stormwater?
No, this one is actually on trying to gain better compliance with erosion and sediment control rules.
That's right. The contractors are coming in for that. I forgot. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and it's just, the business community is always concerned about all this paperwork we're going to have to do if we work on anything that's government related. And, so I think the more we can do to streamline the process or make them aware maybe just how uncomplicated it is. I know even in government, I remember Dave Gillock, Mayor Gillock, gave me a hard time when we had some money for their old town hall, and he said, Matt, you created all these headaches for me. I got all this paperwork to fill out now, and of course I offered to come over and make photocopies for him if he needed some help, but it was a lot of paperwork to fill out to be able to get the money. But I guess I just want to convey to the contractors that we're willing to walk you through this whole thing and make it as easy as possible for you to participate. And this is a real opportunity to, to grow and enhance the business.
I agree, and our staff is always available to put them through and make sure it's as easy for them as possible. And also, we've done a much better job over the years in turning payments around, because that's typically one of the biggest complaints we hear is you're sitting on our invoices too long. And as long as the work is done and it's satisfactory, we've been able to turn stuff around in under 2 weeks, which when I first got here, that didn't happen too often.
For small contracts, it's all about cash flow.
Right.
Exactly. Cash is king.
Yes,
And
it is.
the difference from the private sector is you do get paid.
But that is one difference. We've never not paid someone for the work done, so.
Exactly. Thanks, Don.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
So we're going to award a contract to Old Town Remodeling and Restoration in Milan, Ohio, in the total amount of $30,707, which includes a contingency for any unforeseen change orders for Dustin and Lindsay Ottawa, Sheffield Lake for rehabilitation work.
Okay, so move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
I have no additional comment this morning. Thank you.
Mr. Innes.
Excuse me. I do have one issue of pending litigation to discuss with the commissioners in an executive session.
Commissioner's report.
Saturday, I went to Second Baptist Church for Alice Mary Bullocks, who passed away. They had a beautiful service for her. She touched a lot of people, and our condolences to Forrest Bullocks and his family on the passing of his mother. Two other losses this week. I was not able to attend, but Christy Campana's mom and Lorain Albert. I've known Lorain Albert for 30-some years. She sold me my first
lady.
house, and she's an awesome lady, and she'll be missed by her family, so condolences to them. Sunday, they had almost 100 people at the event for the APL's fundraiser at Amherst Movie Theater, a dog named Gucci. It was a story about 4 dogs who were abused, and it was very, very hard to watch. There was a lot of Kleenex going around, a lot of sniffling, and but it was a really good outcome. It changed a lot of the laws in the United States for, instead of it being misdemeanors, it's now felonies. So congratulations to the APL for a successful fundraiser. And then on Tuesday, we had our Gore Orphanage ditch hearing, and we're continuing to look at the problems with flooding, and we're working to resolve the problems while we're trying not to create additional problems with flooding downstream. So we're working on that. And then also on Tuesday, we had our Investment Advisory Committee meeting. Then that afternoon, Tim Pilblad, our dog warden, and I went down to WOBL for an interview with Big Jim and with Jean to talk about our dog kennel and the banner year that we've had last year. And just to give you an idea of what's been going on this past year, the number of dogs, strays that we took in were 1,162. Out of those, we had 405 dogs that were returned to their owner, so it's very important that you get your dog licenses. It's very easy to get your dog back, costs you a lot less money, and a reminder that dog licenses are due by January 31st, which is this week. And if you don't get your dog licenses and you are penalized, the cost of the penalty is the same as the dog license, which is $16. So I urge you to get your dog license. And the number of dogs that were adopted were 502, and the number of euthanizations that we did were 46. I had the dog warden look back in 2004 before we took over as commissioners and really got involved in the dog kennel. It was over 800 euthanizations back in the day, so we've come a long way. We have a great staff out there right now, and we have a lot of rescue groups that help us and a lot of volunteers and also the community has really stepped up and taken to the motto of adopt, don't shop. So thank you to all those people who help us at the kennel. And I think that is the end of my report.
Yeah, a significant number. I mean, we've cut euthanizations by almost 95% in 11 years. So, I mean, and without the rescues in the APL, I mean, we couldn't have done it. I mean, it's a partnership with a lot of good groups.
A lot of people help us.
Yeah.
And all those dogs are spay and neutering.
There you go.
Let's see. Where is it? Oh, 509. So we're spending, about $50,000, but it makes the dogs, a lot better dogs. Hopefully in the long run it'll produce less strays in the future because they're not reproducing, and so we're doing good work. I'm very proud of the kennel.
Also in regards to when you were talking about that ditching and not causing other damage as we go, I think we had a good discussion yesterday, especially with the residents out there in Gore Orphanage between 18 and Peck Wadsworth. As they all have their own separate issues, we've got to make sure that things don't end up coming north. I was actually listening to Mayor Jensen from Avon on EOL this morning. He was talking about how they're trying to address their water issues, knowing Ridgeville's addressing theirs, which sends it then forth to them, and then they don't want to cause a problem going into Avon Lake or Sheffield Village. So, I mean, really important that we all work together in regards to stormwater, even though we're different districts. Also, Commissioner Lundy and I attended, we had a board meeting of NOACA this past week, and then we had a special meeting of the Governance Committee afterwards with representatives from the 5 counties and the city of Cleveland on addressing ratification, changing bylaw issues, which went on for about an hour, and the meeting's been continued till probably April now. But an issue that's been 2 or 3 years in the works, so hopefully we can get something done this year, Commissioner. End of my report.
And just to follow up on that, at the NOACA meeting last Friday, Ted was recognized for his service during his year as president at NOACA.
Good year.
So you now lose Secret Service protection. You can't sleep in a Lincoln bedroom, all those things. But,
Took my
but
parking pass.
lost your parking pass. Dan Troy, the new president down there, and just for those of you who may not know much about NOAC, they play a very instrumental role in planning our highway projects and road projects in the region. It's a very, very important group to be involved with. They're very concerned about transit issues as well too, and they're a great resource for all of us and always willing to help out in a good organization. In fact, I think Grace Galucci is coming to speak at the next township trustee meeting. Looking forward to that. She did an excellent job at City Club. Just a very knowledgeable lady and great to work with. As Commissioner Kokoski pointed out, our sympathies go out to the Bullocks family and to the Albert family as well too. The loss of two very fine individuals there. I know that Lorain was a great influence on my twin brother when he first got in the real estate business, and a tremendous help to him. And Forrest Bullocks, the whole Bullocks family, couldn't ask for a nicer family in the community. So it's a big loss for them. I had a chance to attend the Visitors Bureau meeting on Thursday, and I think I saw a familiar face there, Brad Dickin from the Chronicle, first open meeting of the Visitors Bureau, so that was good to see as we continue our discussions with them. The township trustees had a presentation at their meeting. Dave from the county health department giving an update on the possible, merger of the health departments, trying to figure out how all that will work. And let me just educate the public, just because Lorain County's in the name doesn't mean that we run the place. They do their own thing there. So, but that's going to be interesting to follow as time goes on. Had a meeting with some of the lakefront mayors this week as we finalize our grant application to NOACA for a lakefront plan. Thought that was a very productive meeting, and we just really want to generate a lot more economic activity along the lakefront. Also putting together our transit grant application as well too. Both of those will be going in on Friday, and thank you for the support of my colleagues because we're going to be able to put a little bit of an investment on the table, not much, no more than $2,000, but that helps us pick up some additional points with the opportunity of possibly getting as much as $100,000 for planning purposes. Congratulations to UH, their new rehabilitation hospital, opening in Avon. Wasn't able to make that event, but we're just so fortunate in this county and in this region to have just a very thorough and growing and robust healthcare community that really helps keep a lot of our families healthy around here. And also want to remind everybody again about the Transit Summit that will be held at Lorain County Community College on Wednesday, Wednesday, February 3rd from 6 until 8 p.m. And that's the Mobility and Opportunity for a Vibrant Economy, the MOVE organization that is looking at public transit. Some good presentations will take place February 3rd, 6 to 8 p.m. at Spitzer Center. We hope to see you there. Last year when we held this, it was probably one of the worst days of the winter, if not the worst day. We literally had a blizzard that day and still had 100 people show up. So this is certainly an issue that's of great concern to residents in our county.
Board correspondence?
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Public comment?
Okay, seeing no public comment, move that we move into executive session.
Second.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.